the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back trackside once again, race fans. Here to the Turn 3 Racing Network, back in action for your midweek racing fix. The A.S.M.R Hauck Designs Cup Series kicks things off for what will be the final rundown here in season number 11. Hot happy hour qualifying already behind us, drivers ready to roll here tonight from Iowa Speedway. Before we head trackside for your starting lineup, how you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave of the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, what do you say we jump down there and see how these drivers are getting ready to roll off on your starting grid? No, guys, let's go the other way. There you go. Let's take a look here. 14 drivers in the field here tonight for the Heartland 145, live from Iowa Speedway. Going to be a hot and heavy night here. Man, I tell you what, drivers jumping out of their machines and into these Gen 6 rides. First week, short track action. Will we see some tempers flare? We're going to find out, that's for sure. As we await the official word from the boss man in the flag stand, and we will get ready to kick things off here tonight. Beautiful sunset as the pace car begins to roll. We'll get things underway here tonight from Iowa Speedway, starting inside row number 1 behind the wheel of that fast number 16 machine. Front of the field once again, Derek Moore will lead us to the green flag. Christian Abate just to his outside. Last week's race winner Alex Wiggins looking to go back to back. He'll start from third. Jensen just to his outside. Schultz and Miller back in row 3. Row number 4 here tonight from Iowa Speedway, Nicholas Wing and Andrew McConville. Arga Bright Gage back there rounding out your top 10. Jake Dofing, Patrick Coro, row 6. Finishing out the field here tonight in the final row in the Heartland 145 behind the wheel of his Tucker Trucking Company number 89 machine, Jeffrey Engel. In the 28 of Brian Tarnowski. That's your rundown. We'll see if we can get yet another winning performance from the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award position. Can Derek Moore get back to victory lane, claim win number 2 on the season? New car, new ride, new night. Well, I guess it's the same night, just new week. Either way, we're going to be ready to roll this time off of turn number 4. Pace car going to duck in, and we will roll into the restart zone. And green flag flies for the first time here from Iowa. Doesn't look like anybody's really tiptoeing for the time being early here tonight. 2, 3 wide for the moment. Oh my goodness, look right here. Here you go. Right in the mid pack, right in the mix of it. You can see the 41 of Doug Argabright, that new Budweiser look on board. No longer in that Mobile 1 machine. Into the outside wall goes the 4 machine. Hard impact for Zach Miller. Woo. Contact with another driver. Hard impact with the outside wall for the 38 of Zach Miller. That's going to put a damper on his day. A little short on the arrow now. Going to cause some problems for the rest of his night. We'll see if we get any caution flags to allow him to try to massage those fenders and get it worked back out. Ooh, the 24 pancakes. The passenger slide out of 2. The side-by-side bottom of the racetrack looking for second. Alex Wiggins going to pick up the position. 45 of Christian Abate going to slide to third with Cody Schultz looking for a spot to the inside. Lap number 5 behind us. We're going to go ahead and drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find and follow along with your favorite driver here tonight. Big battle on track for that 3rd, 4th, 5th position. Schultz, Wing, Abate all going at it for the moment. Schultz able to break away, close in on the 11 of Wiggins. Just out there, man on an island, all alone. Woo! Nicholas Wing with a handful. Oh my God. Huge handful off of 4, almost 3 wide back into 1 and 2. One of the few Toyotas in the field here tonight. Only 3 of them to speak of. Wing struggling with a little bit of grip early here tonight. Wonder if the sunset is going to help a hand full of these drivers out with a little bit of the grip levels. We'll have to wait to see how it all pans out. Panning out right now for your pole sitter. Behind the wheel of that Holiday Bourbon, number 16 machine, Derek Moore. Fast forward, walking away, 1.2 second advantage over Wiggins. Cody Schultz still hot on the trail. Things starting to get a little bit more uniform, a little more single file early here tonight. Lap number 10 going to go on the board this time around. Most of the drivers seem to be single file, utilizing that mid to high lane here at Iowa. A little bit of a cat and mouse game, if you will, possibly going on for the moment. We'll see how these drivers go at these next handful of laps. But first, let's jump on board with a handful of our drivers here tonight. On board now with the 24 machine of Nicholas Wing, sitting in that 4th position, looking for a spot on the podium list. Cody Schultz just in front of him, a little further back through the field. He may not be able to be found, but we found him right here lurking just inside of your top 10. On board now with the 404 of Dave Gage, looking for a position on Jake Dofing, heading back into 1. Great little pass for position there. We're going to go to the 45 now of Christian Abati. He's going to be our final driver with our onboard camera here tonight. We do appreciate each and every one of the teams working with some of the camera crew, letting us bring you some of these great and amazing shots as we head back down into turn 1. There you can see race leader, big advantage. Things starting to get a little strung out for midway on back. Andrew McConville running a little bit more of an unconditional or untraditional line. You can see him right there, kind of not really in that mid lane, not really in the 3rd lane, kind of hugging the 2 right now. Not really sure if that's by design or if he may have missed the entry to the corner. We're going to continue to watch this number 10 machine in the Big O Tire sponsored Camry. Oof. Outside wall is going to be a problem. I'm telling you. Mark my word, there's going to be somebody that just absolutely destroys it. Woo. A little bit of a wiggle on the bottom side for the 404 of Dave Gage. We're going to transfer back towards the front of this field. Drivers have reeled in that 11 of Wiggins. Oh, and there's the 5. Contact outside wall for Cody Schultz. Right in front of that 41 of Argabright. It's a double. Well, can we say double fist? Are we allowed to say that? You know, when you used to walk around the party, the bar, 2 beers in the hand. No. Well, never mind. Because it's not a dub. It's never mind. It's Milwaukee and Budweiser. I was under the impression they were both Budweiser machines. That's what you get for assuming, and that's why we need to never. You know what? Just, yeah. A new driver taking over that 2nd position, running down race leader Derek Moore. That gap has dissipated over a 2nd, given back to the field. Wing gonna close in. Wiggins right behind him. Schultz and Argabright round out your top 5. Christian Abati started outside pole position, dropping 4 spots now, sitting in 6th. For the first time tonight, battle for the race lead. Nicholas Wing looking to the inside through 1 and 2. We roll, digging, catfishing on the bottom. Momentum with the 24 on the bottom of the racetrack. Will it stay? Drag race into 3 and 4. Still hugging that yellow line. Can he get the momentum off of the corner exit and take the top spot away? Oh, not going to get it at the line. Derek Moore continues to lead here at Iowa. To make it 3 wide for the race lead, and we will have a new race leader out of turn 2 down the backstretch and into 3. Alex Wiggins going to slide his way through the middle into the top spot. 24 going to have to check up a little on corner exit, man. Action-packed, heavy racing action here at the front. Heavily congested, 5-6 drivers all in contention here. Your top 7, throw a blanket under them. Trying not to talk too much, trying to let some of the racing action just kind of speak for itself. Don't want to really dull you or bore you with needless antics. These drivers' ability speaking for itself on display early here tonight in the Heartland 145. You're watching the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Next Gen Cup Series. And did the 16, you know what, let's talk about it here. Let's talk about that 16 of Derek Moore jumped out to almost a 1.5 second advantage. Excuse us, early here tonight. Has since given it up and dropped back about 1/2 second. So giving up about 2 seconds on the racetrack. As the 16... Did he use up the tires a little early? Did he burn them up? You got to think about the long run here. Iowa can lend its hand to some very long green flag racing. And we are deep into a long green flag run, so maybe paying the price for abusing those tires a bit early. And Derek Moore looking to try to recover a little bit of something here. Believe we're going to be about 15 to 20 laps away from our first round of green flag pit stops. So still a long way to go for these drivers. A lot still on the line for everybody throughout this field. Last week's race winner, Alex Wiggins, coming into tonight's race, sitting 3rd in the overall point standings, well, tied for 2nd with Derek Moore. Looking to chase down Christian Abate. Another race-winning performance will sit Wiggins up pretty going into those final 4 weeks. That's right, we've got 5 races left. It's tonight and 4 more weeks of action before we crown Season 11 champion. California Kid, Doug Argabright, becomes our 3rd different race leader of the evening. And we always call him the California Kid. He is not a kid by any means. He's an Xfinity Series champion here with the A.S.M.R Hauck Designs Series seasoned veteran getting married here, coming towards the end of the season. So definitely not a kid, but he just an amazing driver. We got to try to nickname people when we can, make it a little flashy, and not having to do anything flashy except pick up 8 positions throughout tonight's race. Doug Argabright gonna go from 9th to 1st. Lap number 34 now on the board. Alex Wiggins back in 2nd. Christian Abati recovering just a little bit. Now back up to 3rd. Nicholas Wing gonna sit in 4th, battling with that 16 of Jarek Moore. It looks like he may be making a charge back to the front. Did Moore maybe run it out there? Begin to play it safe a little bit. Now going to abuse it on the back end. We're going to see how that run goes for the 16. A little further back through the field. Let's take a look at the 13 machine. There we can see Jake Dofing making his way out of turn 2, down the backstretch into 3, quickly into 3. Trying to chase down the 5 of Cody Schultz. Everybody chasing after a top 5 here. There's Nicholas Wing, bottom of the racetrack. Bit of a moment out of 4 for Wing. He's going to have to collect the car. And for the most part, it does appear that drivers have begun to settle in here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Pretty much single file action all throughout this field. Little bit of gaps here and there. Going to keep these drivers somewhat close. As you can see, beautiful sunset in the background and the track lights beginning to come on. Second half of tonight's race going to be quite a different theme. There's going to be quite a different look of not just the drivers in the rear of the field, but the drivers at the front. How will the crew chiefs adapt? What changes will be made? But more importantly, what are you willing to do? Right, we said we've got 5 weeks before we crown a king, before we decide a season champion here in season number 11 for the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Cup Series. So with 5 weeks left, everybody inside of the top 10 still with that mathematical possibility of walking away as the season champion. So what do you do if you are inside of the top 10? Or do you throw caution to the wind, looking for that race win? Some of these drivers going to need at least 1, possibly 2 to 3 wins. Drivers like Jeffrey Engel, Jake Dofing, Dave Gage, all very formidable drivers, seasoned veterans. Fast week in and week out, just haven't been able to really put the entire season together so far here. All sitting inside of the top 10, but they will need some wins to chase down those front runners. Doug Argabright, he needs a little bit of a shot in the arm coming into tonight's race, sitting 19 points back. Looking to get that with a race-winning performance out front right now, 3/10 ahead of the field. Things looking good for Argabright for the moment. Closing in on lap number 43 this time around. We should see drivers stopping for fuel and tires somewhere in that 50 to 55 lap range, which is going to pretty much chalk this thing up to a 2-stop race. I don't think anybody's going to be able to make it on 1 stop. I think you give up way too much time to remotely think about a 1-stopper here. I mean, you're talking what, 70, what would that be, 72, 73, let's call it 73 lap run. You're about 30 laps off of that right now. I don't see you squeezing 70 laps out of a fuel tank. And I guarantee you don't want tires for nowhere near that. If you got tires 75 laps old, you're a madman. And the wheel. Drum set, you want some grip. That's all I'm going to say. Argo Bright at the front, unable to shake. 45 of Christian Abati, they've been able to stretch their legs a little bit over that. 11 of Alex Wiggins, Derek Moore going to sit in that fourth position. Alex Wing still rounding out your top 5. And a little different theme developing here at the front. We've seen that one driver break away early here tonight with Derek Moore. Now we're seeing it as a 2-car tandem. I don't want to start any conspiracy theories, you know what I mean? I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. Right? But if you can figure out that, hey, if we can run like we're battling, but keep it drafting, we can work together. Step away from this field for a minute, man. Get out front. Let's settle this amongst ourselves. We don't have to worry about somebody closing in on us. Is there some strategy at play? I don't know. Long green flag run underway here tonight from Iowa Speedway. You're watching the Heartland 145, brought to you by PremierRacingSetups.com, the longest running standing setup shop for iRacing.com. If you're looking for a handful of tents, maybe you need a little bit of coaching on a particular track and a particular machine, they've got it all over there, from one-on-one to analytics to diagnostics, pure out setups. I can promise you, with one of these setups underneath the hood, you got no excuses. That's the way I'm going to put it. That's the way I'm going to word it. Not from their mouth, but that's from mine. You can take a look down in the description. Click the link. Head on over to PremierRacingSetups.com. Patrick Coro will visit pit road. We're going to keep our eye on Coro to see if that is a scheduled pit stop. If the round of green flag pit stops have begun, the battle has begun for that top spot. Christian Abati his patience may have worn weary, now looking to the inside, looking for the top spot. Can he be our fourth leader of tonight's race? Not yet. Off of 4. Momentum gonna be with the 41 of Argo Bright, who keeps the race lead top side of the racetrack. Lap number 53 underway. While pit road remains open, it is not active. Patrick Coro, only driver to come down pit road 4 laps ago, fighting for his life right now. You can see that 91 just out front of your race leaders listed, 1 lap down for the moment, trying to keep himself just 1 lap down until this round of green flag pit stops unfolds. Fastest man on the track is Patrick Coro, full second faster than your race leader. Will this short pit, this undercut, translate into big track position? We'll find out from the 91 after it's all said and done. Lap number 56 now underway. We have a handful of two-car breakaways throughout the field. Top two get a step away, then Wiggins and Moore behind them. About 1.2 seconds back is where you find the two-car tandem of Wiggins and Moore. Schultz sitting about 2 seconds out in front of Jake Dofing in Nicholas Wing, now struggling a little bit here on the long run. The 24 machine going to drop all the way back now to where he qualified, where he started tonight's race. 24 sitting in 7th. Still unable to take that top spot away. Christian Abate continues to show the nose to the 41 of Arga Bright. Cold-blooded is Arga Bright, not shaken one bit by the presence of that 45 machine. He's going to continue to run that line, continue to keep Christian behind him. Lap number 60 now on the board, and these drivers starting to make me look a little bit dumber with each and every lap. I said a one stopper isn't possible, but they're only about 12 laps away from being in that fuel mileage range. Holy, what? It's crazy. Absolutely, my opinion, absolutely crazy. 70 plus laps on a tank of fuel? No, you're crazy, crazy, crazy. Never would accept it. Well, I guess I'll have to accept it. Maybe I would have never expected it. There you go. That's the verbiage we're looking for here in the booth. Meanwhile, not a lot of action, as we spoke about. Just a handful of two-car battles. We'll transition back here to this one. It's getting a little bit more heated here. Derek Moore all over the tail end of that 11 of Alex Wiggins. Let's see, do we got that onboard camera shot, guys? There it is. Beautiful picture down the driver's side of Alex Wiggins, looking back at your Premier Racing Setup.com Pole Award winner, Derek Moore, looking to take that third and final podium position. Alex Wiggins doing all he can to repeat last week's race-winning performance from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tell me that is. You can't tell me. If you are a racing fan, you can't look at that picture right there with the sunset and the track lights, the cars on track. You can't tell me that is not a beautiful thing. I mean, doesn't get much prettier than that. Just saying. Anyways, beautiful camera work. Guys, we do appreciate all the hard work behind the scenes that everybody does on our visual department. We appreciate each and every one of you camera guys out there. We appreciate all the track officials, all of the teams, car owners and drivers allowing us to put some of these amazing shots together to bring you closer to the action week in and week out each and every Wednesday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Every Wednesday night, the A.S.M.R. Hauck Designs Cup Series will fire up their machines and bring you back to the track. Back to the front once again. Derek Moore gonna pick up third. Ten of Andrew McConville gonna head to pit road a little closer to that halfway point in tonight's race. And these guys at the front, man, they're showing no signs of saving, no signs of stopping. Dave Gage going to be our latest driver to pull to pit road. So now that green flag pit cycle really beginning to unfold. 2, 3 make that 4 drivers now making their first and what looks to be their only green flag pit stop here tonight. Time gained and lost on pit road. This could be the money stop. This could be what makes it or breaks it for you. 38 of Zach Miller gonna pull to pit lane. Moore looking to shake Wiggins, unable to do so for the moment. Argabright continues to lead Abati. That battle for the top spot still underway, and these drivers going to do it. They're going to get to the halfway point. I would have never in a million years bet that they would have made it this far on fuel. Jake Tofing, Nicholas Wing, next 2 drivers to head to pit lane. They're going to join Patrick Coro, Dave Gage, Andrew McConville, Zach Miller. All drivers that have made their green flag pit stop. There goes the 11 of Alex Wiggins. He's going to peel for pit lane. And at this point, how much longer do you really got to stay out? How much further do you stretch this? You know, this time around, you can make it to the end of the race, and there it is. There's your answer for Christian Abati right now. That's what I had to pit lane. Heavy in the midst of traffic, heavy in the midst round of green flag pit stops. There is old tires, new tires, cold tires, hot tires. We got a lot going on here as race leader. Gonna head to pit road. Derek Moore gonna reassume that top spot as Algebright pulls the pit lane. Still only 3 race leaders so far here tonight from Iowa Speedway. Will this round of green flag pit stops be enough to bring the field back together, or will it pull them apart? And for all intents and purposes, looks like this man right here, Patrick Coro, may have seized the opportunity of the season. And there it is. Patrick Coro will become our 4th leader of the Heartland 145, live from Iowa Speedway, and he has got himself over a 5-second advantage. Much older tires. And the drivers that just came to pit lane, they're not going to have to pit, so it is a long uphill battle for this 91. But with the gap, will it be enough? Will there be enough speed? Sitting a second slower last time around. Just a second a lap, you're 3.5 seconds. Yeah, I don't. It's gonna be tough for Coro. It's gonna be tough. So after the round of green flag pit stops just over the midway point, we will give you a little bit of house cleaning here tonight. It's going to be short, sweet, right to the point. 14 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight. We have still got 13 left on the track with 11 on the lead lap. Patrick Coro going to be your 4th different race leader of the night. We have been clean and green for all 79. Back to the battle. Let's head right here once again. Alex Wiggins trying to close in on Chris Shidabati. And I believe that's going to be... Who is that 95? We're going to go out on a limb and say that's the 28 of Brian Ternowski. Behind the wheel of that Toyota. Maybe we're right. Not really sure. Dave Gage having a little bit of issues. Let's go find that 404. There he is right there. A little bit of Magic Man moments for that Harley Davidson Motorcycle Shop. The sponsored Chevy Camaro going to make his way out of 2, back down the backstretch into 3, chasing after the Milwaukee sponsored Fast Forward of Cody Schultz. Schultz was a player inside of the top 5 for a vast majority of tonight's race. Now on the outside, looking in. Bit of a gap in front of this trio. So you don't want to get too caught up in racing just one driver right now. Yes, a position is a position, but you got some ground to make up in time. It is not on your side. To go back to the front of the field because Christian Abati has taken over the race lead. There you can see that 45 out front late in the race here as the lights are full power. And dust begins to beseech us here at Iowa Speedway. Christian Abati going to become our 4th leader of tonight's race. And I don't know that we're going to see another one. I don't know that we will see another race leader. Your top 5 on the track have been your only race leaders of the evening. 4 of them are previous race winners. So the cream is rising to the top, not just late in the season, but late here tonight. And it's just, you gotta be there. You gotta put yourself in the position. You are on a 1-lap run. It's not about how quick you are on a 10-lap average. How quick are you on a 30, 40-lap run? That's where the speed kills. That's where the speed makes the difference. And we're gonna go back now. We've got a pretty interesting battle beginning to brew here. Let's take a little look right here. Battle for that 2nd position. There you can see, trying to chase down Argabright is Alex Wiggins and Derek Moore. Only Derek Moore with fresher tires than that 41 machine of Argabright. Freshest tires on the track to be, as a matter of fact, for that 16 machine. Wiggins and Moore now going at it for 3rd and 4th. Battle for the race lead, ready to reassume between the same players at the front. A little bit of a change for 3rd and 4th. Derek Moore going to take that 3rd position away. Now going to eyeball reeling in those top 2. Did he play a little bit of possum through that first run? Will Derek Moore be able to reclaim the top spot? We've got ourselves about 55 laps to find out quickly through the first half of the racing, closing in on that 100-lap milestone. Whew. That was close. Bottom of the racetrack looking for the spot. Now here comes Argabright at a 4. Still battling for that top spot is Argabright and Abati. They're going to continue to swap and switch that position. And Christian Abati able to hold on to it for the moment. Checking a little look at the track out of turn number 3 down the backstretch. There you can see race leaders coming back into focus, back into picture, with Abati still leading Argabright for the moment out of 4. Back across the line, lap number 94 underway. Some big movers here tonight. Let's go in and check in with that number 13 Machine of Jake Doping, looking to take the position away from Patrick Oro, now suffering from the much older tires. Is that 91 Machine? Cody Schultz looking to take the spot away as well. The Mustangs get a gang up on the lone Chevy. And dropping 2 spots at about a lap and a half is that 91 of Coro, now back the 7th. Dofing gonna pick up that position and work his way into a top 5. First time here tonight. 13 Machine of Jake Dofing inside of your top 5. And drivers less than 2 miles away from closing in on the 100 lap mark. Here from Iowa Speedway, it's going to be a quick run down to the end, I can assure you that. And it's... I don't want to say this has turned into a strategy race, because the fuel strategy is completely gone. This is going to be more of that tire strategy. How much tire do I use and when do I use it? We've seen the effects of maybe overworking the tires through the course of that first run with Derek Moore. He dropped all the way outside of the top 5 at one point in time, was able to work his way back inside. I do believe it was 4th, before eventually reclaiming the top spot during our green flag pit cycle. But if you're one of these drivers at the front, if you're Argabright, how hard are you pushing? If you're Abati, how much do you worry about what that 41's doing? How do you stick to your race? How do you stick to your guns in a position like this where tires are going to be the deciding factor? Grip at the end of tonight's race is what is going to win this thing for you. It's not going to be the raw, sheer speed out of the machine. It's going to be who was able to keep the tires underneath them the longest. And I mean, that's just my perspective. I could be wrong. These guys could tell me that the tires were phenomenal, no real fall off. But what we're looking at, what we're seeing right now, is over a second fall off from drivers' best laps to their most recent laps. 1.2 seconds slower, to be a matter of fact, for Christian Abati as he continues to lead tonight's race. So there is a cliff. There is a point where the tires lose the speed because they just cannot grip the track effectively. And it's going to come down to who can handle the machine when the car begins to cross over that threshold. It's one thing to drive a great handling car fast. It's another to drive a ill handling, grip lacking, slipping, sliding car and still maintain proper pace. And he's appeared to have the most pace so far since this round of green flag pit stops unfolded. Closing in on those front two, you can see him right there, third man in the picture. Derek Moore arriving on scene for the moment, about 0.3 of a second faster than your top two. Lap traffic will be a factor. So now it's not just managing the tires. Now it's not just trying to get by your competitor. Now you have to try to navigate lap traffic as well. You're going to have to make those moves quickly. You're going to have to make those decisions pretty fast. Closing in on just about 35 laps remaining here tonight in the Heartland 145. So this race will come to a close very quickly. All these drivers out there. So you're going to have to look forward. They're going to have to look past that next corner, past that next lap. We'll see if there's any change at the top three. For the moment, your race leaders have broken away from the field over a 4-second advantage on Alex Wiggins, sitting back in the fourth spot. Wiggins kind of a man all alone. Right here sitting in fourth, 2.5 seconds back to Cody Schultz, who rounds out your top five. So with that being said, we're going to take you back where the action is at. Let's go back up here with your top three as they make their way through 1 and 2, back down the backstretch and into turn 3. Once again, everybody continues the chase after Abati. And how humble do you gotta be? If you're Christian Abati, how humble do you gotta be in victory lane this week, right? Picking up win number 4 on the year. How humble do you gotta be? I mean, we're only gonna have 4 more races left. So you're almost untouchable in the winners column. But it doesn't make you immune from your championship competitors. A lot going to unfold over the course of these next 4 weeks as well. We've got a little bit of everything coming at you here in these final 4 weeks. The final run down to the Season 11 Championship for the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Cup Series. We're going to hit the Fast high banked, wide open Michigan International Speedway next week. We're going to take it road course racing after that. We're going to turn left and right out at Sonoma. Then bring it all the way back to the East Coast. We're going to go short track racing at Martinsville. Then cap it off with the season championship. Homestead Miami Speedway, April 2nd. Mark it down on your calendar. Or I'll tell you what, while you're here, while you're at it, if you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation. Be sure you drop them a thumbs up before you go. Don't forget about joining us in that push to 4,000. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there at the right-hand side to get notified anytime we go live. And you ain't got to mark it down on your calendar. We'll let you know when we're ready to go racing right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Race leader into heavy lab traffic. .38 of Zach Miller going to move to the bottom of the racetrack. Give the race leaders the preferred middle to high lane here. All three front runners going to make their way up and around that 38 machine, but it has been able to bring the 16 of Derek Moore right up into the picture with 25 to go as we cross the line. Battle for the race lead getting a little bit thicker. Ooh, big dive to the bottom of the racetrack. Big dive for Moore, looking for it all at once. Not going to work out. He took a stab. He took a dive at it. Why not try it? Man. Ooh. Run out of 2 for Moore. Slide job for Abate to keep the position. More lab traffic in front of your race leaders. Ooh, big moment there. Olga Bright into the outside wall. Almost through the front stretch. Grass almost picking up a landscaping bill. 41 may have worn those good years out. Remember, we talked about it. Remember, we said about it's gonna be a game of tire strategy. It's gonna be a game of tire wear, and possibly paying a big price after a huge slide. The 41 of Argabright gonna slide back about a half a second for Moore, who's trying to reel in. Your race leader holding down the top spot ever since the round of green flag pit stops completed. Christian Abate out front here at Iowa. .20 laps of racing, about 16 miles remain. Here in Newton, Iowa, at Iowa Speedway, the Heartland 145 coming to conclusion, coming to a close, looking to close the chapter on yet another race-winning performance is Christian Abate, leading your PerformanceRacing.com Pole Award winner for the moment. Moore now looks back to the bottom of the racetrack, looking for win number 2, looking for the top spot again. Can he go flag to flag here tonight? Big contact. Moore tried to avoid the 404 up the racetrack, door banging and beating on the 45. He'll Brutus his way into the top spot. How does the 45 react here? Has that opened up the, okay, you're going to move me, I can move you mentality? Man, things really heating up here. We thought it was close between Abati and Argabright. It is getting pretty dicey, extremely racy at the front of this field between Derek Moore and Christian Abati. These two will not give way. We're going to have heavyweights throwing blows to the end of this thing. "130 laps complete, 14 to go here tonight." Pole center Derek Moore has reclaimed that top spot, looking to hold off the 45 of Abati. Has Abati. Has Christian possibly abused those tires, trying to stay out in front of Argabright, trying to keep that 16 at bay? Heavy lap traffic did come into play. It continues to be a factor as the laps wind down. I don't think, once they clear McConville right here, once they clear this 10 of Andrew McConville, I don't think the race leaders are going to have to deal with any more lap traffic here. So it's going to get down to a mano-a-mano race pretty quickly here. The 45 is going to have to dispose of these back markers and not allow more to scoot away. Ooh, a little bit of a slide for McConville on that high side. Abati looking to arc that corner in, get a great launch center exit off, clear that 10. It's got to be done, gets the job done, and he keeps himself within striking distance. Just 10 laps remain here tonight in the Heartland 145. You're watching the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Cup Series live from Iowa Speedway. An amazing night for your race leader. Your premier racing setup.com pole award winner went out to a big lead to kick things off at the start of tonight's race, gave that race lead up and some more drop through the running order after the round of green flag pit stops took place. Methodically, slowly, but surely, worked his way inside of the top 5, top 4, into the podium, and now back out front. 3-car advantage, back into 3. We're gonna have 7 to go this next time by. Less than 5 miles of racing action remain here from Iowa Speedway. Man, I'm telling you, the end of this season is gonna get pretty good here. We've got a lot of these front runners all over each other inside of the top 5. On track and in the point standings. So every little pass, every little win, every little point will come down to matter in the end. man, just looking at it here, Derek Moore came into tonight's race 8 points out of that top spot in the overall championship standings. The man on track behind him, Christian Abate, was your championship leader, now sitting in second. But this race win, this may very well catapult Moore into that top spot as we head to Michigan next week. Doug Argabright will more than likely pick up a handful of points on Alex Wiggins and close in. So those top four are going to be even closer in the point standings when we head to Michigan next week. Man, this season's getting juicy at the end, and with popsicle sticks on display here at Iowa Speedway, we've got just 2 to go. Out of 4 this time, coming to the line, white flag will fly. Final lap here at the Heartland 145. Derek Moore looking to sweep the points with the pole in the race win. Out of 2 down the back stretch and into 3 for the final time. That's all she wrote. That's gonna do it. Walking away with the race win here from Iowa Speedway. Derek Moore will cross the line as your race winner. Christian Abate gonna finish a close second. Doug Argabright finishes out your podium drivers. What an amazing night transitioning from the sunset into the night. What a run. What a performance. Way to keep your calm. Stay collected. Knowing you got a fast car and working your way back to the top spot. Derek Moore going to pull to the front stretch and give the fans in the stands a little bit of a smoke show. Give this man credit where credit is due. Win number 2 on the season. And as he begins to burn it down and enjoy his post-race celebration, we're going to take just a brief second to step away from the racetrack. Get things set up and ready to go for your post-race show, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. And back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's Heartland 145, and we're going to dive right into the post-race show. We're going to kick things off a little differently here tonight. We're going to see if we can't head to victory lane first. Let's go ahead and have a few words with your race winner here tonight, walking away with win number 2 this season. Derek, it's Dave. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Dave. Good to be here.
Well, man, we're gonna let you get to celebrating so you can get on out of here and have yourself a good old night after winning tonight here in America's Heartland. But man, coming down to the season's end, right? We had 5 races left before tonight. You're gonna click off another win, looking to possibly have the points lead heading into Michigan next week. How good does it feel knowing that the championship is right at your fingertips? Still a long way to go, but it's right there.
Well, it feels good, first of all, to be in a real stock car again. Just want to put that out there. This car drives much more like it should compared to the next gen. I think as far as the championship is concerned, I mean, it's still going to be tough between me and Christian and Wiggins. It's always us 3 every race, and Christian's had my number more times than not this season. I mean, I haven't won a race on iRacing since Nashville, so it's been a pretty long drought, and it's good to be here. And I'm just taking it one race at a time. I'm looking forward to Michigan. I think it's a great track. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun there, especially with these cars. I think it's gonna be a bit of a drafting track, so that'll be a little bit of an unknown for me. But I think I'll be in it. We'll see how every race goes.
Well, it was obvious tonight that you had the speed in the machine. You walked away with the PremierRacingSetup.com Pole Award. You got out at the start of tonight's race to, it was at one time, I want to say a 1.3, 1.4 second lead. And then you kind of dropped through the field. Was there a tire issue? Maybe run too much of the rubber off too early? What was the situation right there?
I think I just fired off well, and I got clear air, and everybody was still battling. And I mean, honestly, I wasn't really trying too hard to get that lead at the beginning. I just kind of gapped him from just being able to use the whole track, I think. And then, I fell back just out of, minding the fuel usage. So I was just rolling off early and staying off the throttle through the corner just to keep my fuel usage down. People wanted to pass me, that's fine. Trying to play the long game. Tried to make it difficult on them a little bit, but still wasn't fighting too hard because I knew I had to get halfway through the race if I was going to be able to make it on just one stop. So,
well, you made it work out. You made it pan out. You walked away with your second win, as we've already mentioned here tonight. A hell of a job, a hell of a season for you underway. We're not going to keep you any longer, so shout outs, thank yous, love yous.
Just, as usual, thanks to you for broadcasting. Thanks to the admins for putting this show on. I'm glad they made the right decision, changing the car. Thanks to my teammates. Andy got himself a top 10 tonight. Me and Christian had a good battle there. Not a lot of side-by-side, but it was a lot of rubber banding and just kind of trying to figure out where time was. As always, thanks to the wife putting up with me doing this. And I think that just about covers it. Go get yourself a bottle of holiday whiskey.
Well, I got work tomorrow, so I can't do that. Maybe this weekend I will look into it, though. But again, Derek, congratulations on yet another win. Always a pleasure to catch up with you. I know we'll speak again, so until then, stay safe and, of course, keep it fast. All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away in victory lane. Win number 2 now secured. And we're going to go see if we can't have a word with the man that walked away second here tonight. Behind the wheel of that fast number 45 machine, Christian Amonte. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just another fuel mileage race in the books.
Well, okay, hold on now. You say a fuel mileage race in the books, but was it really a fuel mileage race if you only have to stop once?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I hate to steal it from you that way, but I mean, come on.
No, it's a good point. No, I mean, it was an interesting one for sure because it was really fun at the start there, trying to figure out who was gonna try and stretch it and who wasn't. A couple guys ducked in the pits. I don't know. I have a third through the race, so I mean, pretty clear there when you had some of the two stoppers. I was really surprised at how far or how early a few guys came in from the rest of the field, which I mean just kind of meant that I was in a much better position because I started fuel saving since the start, which is why I dropped back pretty aggressively. Um, but yeah, after that, game plan worked out all right at the pit stop. Ducked in early to try and get ahead of Doug. Worked out. Started playing the track position game with him. I really didn't anticipate the pace Derek had. Although I mean he put it on pole and came back and won. So I mean, all things considered, started second, finished second. Can't really complain about that. And after getting in here for practice, it was a little slow at the start, so I just worked my pace up and was able to put something together.
Well, 1-2 in the point standings. Gonna finish 1-2 on the race here tonight, or in the race here tonight. It's gonna be a close battle when we get to Michigan for that overall championship lead. How are you feeling about these final 4 weeks? With a little bit of everything coming at us, big track at Michigan. We're going to head to a road course, a short track, and then down to Homestead. So out of these next couple weeks, man, how are you really feeling about your chances, your opportunities at walking away with that championship?
I mean, I think it's probably going to be damage limitation at Michigan and Michigan, Martinsville, and Homestead. I mean, I know I'm strong on the road courses, so I'm hoping that I'll take home the win at Sonoma. So I know it's my strength, so that's one I should win. But I think everywhere else it's about trying to mitigate any loss.
Well, Christian, it's been a heck of a run and a hell of a ride for you so far this season. We know you got more left to do, and the season's not done with yet. So before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Just glad to have you back, Dave, this week. I know you were off last, so it'll be fun to watch some of the side-by-side action on this one. Thanks to A.S.M.R for putting on these races. I mean, it's when we have nights like tonight, it was actually really fun to be super close to one another. I know it can be tedious with trying to figure out a fuel number once in a while, but I mean it's all good fun when there's a little bit of uncertainty like this. So.
All right, my man. Well, again, congratulations with another great finish. As we already said, we know there's more to come. We know we'll catch up with you again before the season's end. So until then, my friend, stay safe and, of course, keep it fast. All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away second here tonight. Your overall points leader, Christian Abate, may see a little bit of those points shaved away as we head into Michigan next week. But man, what a night here to finish things off under the light. Great performance by your race winner. Some great runs throughout this field. Argabright going to finish up 6 positions, and there you can hear producers in the background hitting the buttons, ready to roll, so you know it's time to run down your unofficial race results here in the Heartland 145. Walking away with the top spot, checkered flag performance. Once again, the second win for Derek Moore. Christian Abate going to roll home in second with Doug Argabright. Finishing out your podium drivers, the number 5 Milwaukee machine of Cody Schultz going to come home 4th. Finishing out your top 5 here tonight behind the wheel of that 11 machine, Alex Wiggins. Sliding home in 6th, the 24 of Nicholas Wing. Jake Dauphin gonna come home in 7th with the 38 of Zach Miller picking up 8th. 9th on the board is the 10 of Andrew McGonville with the 89 of Jeffrey Engel. Finishing out your top 10, Dave Cage gonna sit in 11th with Patrick Coro, Brian Tornowski, and Daniel Jensen. Finishing out the 14-car field here tonight from Iowa Speedway, and that's gonna pretty much do it for us here tonight. We're gonna start to cut off the lights, roll up the cords, and get ready to go to the Irish Hills of Brooklyn, Michigan. Michigan International Speedway on tap for next week's action. We can't wait to get there. We hope to see you there. But before we go here tonight, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell over there on the right hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by, whether you're one of our fans, friends, family, or one of our many different sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So with that being said, until next time, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and we'll meet you in Turn 3.